Oops.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus again, and I'm here because I think I got a little note I want to share with you. It might help you. It helped me. Listen, there are some things that I'm sure I've said before, and perhaps many of you have said before. But I was just having to run across my Facebook page today, and somebody had put this note on Facebook. And I said, wow, let me just write this down and speak to it. It says, Trump did not change the Republican Party or America. He exposed the long, hateful, racist roots that always existed. Now, if you're black, I know you said that before. And I know I have. And I've spoken on the subject. Well, for some strange reason, this kind of caught me this morning. Because I have said many times, the only reason that we were able to get Trump as president of the United States is because of the citizenry of the United States of America. We call Trump a hater, a bigot, a racist, and all those other things that you called him. But the only reason that Trump is sitting in the White House today is because that is the character and a descriptive character of the American population. Now, I know that this hatred and stuff that Trump exhibits, not all white people felt that way. Well, you know what they did? They sat on the fence because they were white. They might not have got any land or any money, but they could sit at the front of the bus. That was a benefit from being white. So regardless of all the suffering that black people had to go through, Chinese people had to go through, Asian people had to go through, women had to go through, and even poor white people had to go through, they put up with it. Now, they are not the only ones that put up with it. What about the church? Now, the church represents, according to them and their philosophy and their doctrines, they got the greatest power of the universe supporting them. Not only that, the spirit of the greatest power in the universe lives inside of them, and greater is that spirit inside of them than all that is outside in the world. And not only is it inside of them, it's burning with fire. And while all this hatred and racism and bigotry was going along in America, that God, that power, didn't mean a thing. You sat there like a scared chicken. And now you've arrived here with President Trump, your dictator. Now I know you might not want to accept that for what it is. But the truth of it is what it is. Now there were black people who saw all the stuff, went through all the stuff, Asians, everybody that's been a slave and still are. They sat there and they took it. Either they were afraid or they were convinced that somebody was going to come along and save them, or they were going to be rewarded when they go to heaven. Every last one of this is information from the pit of hell. This is information from Satan himself. And I want to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, you know how Trump is president right now? And he's so bad. Until there is a time now when even white people are wishing that Barack Obama was back. Now, before, they proved that Barack Obama did not set their flavor. It did not set their flavor. This is why you got Trump. And so another that you can equate with that is politics. We talk about the Republican Party and Donald Trump. Well, don't you know, if there wasn't the Republican Party, it was the Democratic Party that was in. So what the nation was saying is that the Republican Party did not set their ice in their tea. The Democratic Party did not set their ice in their tea. And so it is a combination of these two that brought us to this point. Black people, or white people, excuse me, and black people who became Democrats, they know they weren't any earthly good. They just know they weren't as bad as the Republicans. And the only thing they wanted to do was not be as bad as the Republicans. If you think I'm lying, look at your social media today. And look at all of these organizations that's standing up against Trump. Talking about how no good Trump is. Talking about how he got to get out of here. How he's brought this nation to its lowest point. Now, most of these people that, especially on these news, MSNBC, CNN, and all them others, and Fox, most of them are getting paid. They're sitting there talking, getting paid. They see the stuff up front, but they're talking. They want to inspire me. They want to inspire you to get up off of your butts and go do something about it, while they sit on their butts and talk about it. And those ones that are sitting on their butts today, they were, if not themselves, a representative of a sort, was sitting on their butts and tails all of these years in the past, allowing this to happen to America today. So the message is, I don't care if you were living yesterday or today, there is no one except the little babies, no one that's innocent of the stuff that America is going through today. White folks, the rich ones and the poor ones. Black folks, the wannabe rich ones and the poor ones. Asians, Hispanics, every last one of us in the United States are responsible for what's going on in the United States of America today. And right now, we are so, let me say you, stop saying we, so fed up with Trump that we're doing anything to get another Democrat in there, because a Democrat is not as bad as Trump. And we're not even so concerned about what the Democrat is going to do, because we know we can't be as bad as Trump. What we want to do is make sure that you get somebody that can beat Trump. Now, think about that for a second. Doesn't it sound like you're being played? Doesn't it sound like you're being played like a stupid nut, a stupid fool? Now listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to say this kind of quick. I always do this, so I'm not going to spend that much time on it. But let me ask you this. This earth, do you think mankind had anything to do as far as its creation? I mean, have you seen any history indicating that in the creation of this earth, man had to put his hand to it? I don't believe you have. Have you had any idea that the resources of this earth, all that the earth is, all the stuff that's in its crevices, all the stuff that can be used for the benefit of mankind, do you think mankind had anything to do with it? Any hand in putting it where it is, creating it, understanding what it's to be used for? Do you think so? I don't. I think we're all in agreement. No, that happened by somebody else. Now let us look at us, who were made by something else. Every last one of us got the same necessities and require them for survival. Food and clothing and shelter. Food and clothing and shelter. Education would help us out a lot. And healthcare might come in and do a big deal for us at the right moment. But there's not a human being on the face of the earth that can survive without access to these things if they ever become necessary. Not a single one of us. So any smart person would understand that whoever put us here with the intention that the resources that were put in this earth were designed to meet the needs of the people on this earth. But now these resources are stashed away in the earth, on the earth, above the earth. Some of it is seen, some of it is unseen. So what happened? The Creator who made us put in the human beings a desire, something, some purpose for being on the earth, something that they can put their hands to. Now, I call it a career of choice. Many of you might call it a job. I don't like that word. I call it a career. Career of choice doesn't sound as devastating as a job. Job sounds like something you don't even really want, but a career, something you love. So, making it up this way, now everybody needs something off this earth to live. And everybody got something to offer. Seems to me, all you got to do is put everybody to work. That's workable, you're old enough, you got a skill, you developed it, or you might need to develop it so you can go to school, and you get yourself ready to put your hands to the plow and play a part in creating all of the goods and services that the human beings have decided are essential for their needs, their wants, and their desires. Now, if you're doing this, that makes every last one of you entitled to what is being created. It could be a plane, a ride to France, transportation anywhere, just you name it. All of the things that exist today, it came from man putting his hand to the plow to do it for the purpose of mankind. Now, I don't think anybody would argue about that. And in doing it that way, nobody's going to be hungry. Nobody's going to be unhoused. Nobody's going to be uneducated or don't have access to it. Nobody's going to be around here with no teeth. Nobody's going to be, unless they want it, nobody's going to be around here with no health care. It's there for everybody. And based upon what you've been given to do, this country, this earth that we live on, can be just like heaven on earth. Now, that's the way I see it. Nobody hungry, nobody lying, nobody cheating, nobody stealing, nobody killing, no terror, no racism, no bigotry, no hatred, no war. That's the way I see it. And I'm thinking anybody, white or black, who saw that would go for it. Sitting on the fence means you don't see that or you don't care. Whether you are black or white or others. That's why, or church. Then you don't know any better. So that's why you're doing that. And I'm sitting here talking to you today to tell you better so you can do better. Now you're talking about putting Trump back in office. That means America has not changed one bit. If you're talking about taking Trump out, putting a Democrat in, that means America has not changed one bit. You got Trump because you deserve him. And if you come back with a Democrat, it won't be long before you get another Trump because you deserve him. You haven't matured. You haven't grown up. If a baby stayed in a diaper all the time, what would you say about it? If a baby grew up to tie your knees and couldn't get in the bed, what if a baby grew up and didn't have no nose? If a baby grew up and had a split lip? If a baby grew up and had no arms, what would you say about it? You know what you would say. But if you had the propensity to want to be good, you try to come up with something to help that baby out. Now, if America is in the position that it's in, and we know it, and we're not willing to do better, then a guy like me ain't got no business listening to you. I don't care if you white. I don't care if you black. I don't care if you're a church or a secular. I ain't got no business listening to you. I don't care if you're super rich or broke. I don't have any business listening to you. I don't care what your Constitution says. I don't care what your laws say. I got no business listening to you because you're purveyors of hell. Now, I know you don't want to accept that, but baby, that's the gospel truth. And until you accept that, you're not going to do anything to change and make things better, not only for you, but for everybody else. So I just thought I'd take a moment out, ladies and gentlemen, share this with you. It might help some of you. But when I say help some of you, I don't just want you to have this information. I want you to know that when you go to the polls to vote in November next year, I think it's next year, for the President of the United States, forget the Democrats. You know what they're doing. Forget the Republicans. You know what they're doing. Think about you and what you want and how it can happen. And you take your power back from those other crooks and claim it yourself and go to the polls and write in Eddie Marcus as the next President of the United States, which indicates that you are taking your power back from those who you have given the authority to represent you, and now you are going to represent yourself, because in signing this thing, you're saying that we're all on the same page, and we would rather live in heaven than to live in hell. And we ain't scared of you devils no more. No, we ain't scared of you devils no more. Do you know that the devil, I mean the real hateful devils, got on police uniforms? I mean the real hateful devils, racist devils, got on police uniforms. Mean, no good devils got on military uniforms. And every last one of them got guns in their hands. And what is that? To kill you if they can't control you. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? And as I speak to you today, how many of you give a heck about what I'm saying? Or are you glued to your past? I say you're glued to your past. But my job is to be obedient to my employer, which is God, to stand here before you and tell you what he has shown me to be truth. And it don't mean a hill of beans if all I can do is say it and don't do it. So watch out, ladies and gentlemen. The Spirit is alive, and it is in me. If you wanted some of this joy, this heavenliness, you better get some of it in you. Until next time, this is Eddie Marcus saying goodbye